Hi guys, and welcome to Katie's Insight, where I give my insight on all kinds of things, including news, finance, politics, business, entertainment, but most importantly right now, stimulus and the election, because we don't want to die. I'm sorry I have to start out that way, but it's true. It's getting pretty desperate for us. So where are we at? So as you guys know, and I have been reiterating, long story short, it's a big nothing burger. Last week, we had Steve Mnuchin, as I've said, and he stepped up and asked for almost $500 trillion back from the Fed Reserve for programs for the CARES Act that are supposed to end at the end of December. These are programs that are supposed to help prop the economy up. The Fed and the Treasury kind of had a little bit of a fight, or for them, a fight in public before the Fed said, okay. The programs are expiring at the end of the year, and honestly, the programs did almost this much to help anybody except the rich people at the top, who are super hurting right now, guys. So this is good because Mnuchin wants to take this money and he wants to funnel it back into Congress so it can be voted on and we can look at it as another bill, which we desperately need. So guys, this is all very good news. And the Crypt Keeper, Mitch McConnell, is finally on board to do negotiations. He has been MIA from all these negotiations, as I've been saying for months. And now that there's $500 billion on the line, $500 trillion on the line, he's like, I'm there, I'm ready, what we doing? And that's where we're at when it comes to all of the stimulus. Now, how have Democrats responded? What do you think? Nothing. A nothing burger. So last week they said, let's get together, Democrats, we're ready. Mnuchin and Mitch, let's go, guys, let's go. Silence. Crickets from the Democratic peanut gallery. By the way, what is a peanut gallery? Like, I know the phrase means I guess the group of silly people or whatever. Sound off in the comments. Where does that come from? Is that my lovely boomers? Hi boomers, hi. Do y'all know where the peanut gallery originates from? Is it some cartoon y'all grew up watching, or I don't know, some comic strip? Sound off. What is that actually? I don't know, but let me know. So the Democrats are nowhere to be found. And, this is unfortunately to be expected when we're dealing with the Democrats. It's just nonstop hypocrisies and BS. At the same time, the Republicans are just super outwardly evil. It's just different flavors of evil, depending on what evil buffet you want to sample from, y'all. You guys just as tired of these people as I am. I'm so tired. Before I begin, like in every video, I'm giving away $100 gift cards. It's very simple. This is all you have to do to win a gift card. Like every video you see, subscribe, hit notifications, comment, share the content, boom. You're entered, you're eligible. That's all you have to do. Do it for every video you see. And the more times you comment, the more chance you have of winning. So for instance, you comment 100 times more chance you have of winning and sharing. So yay, good luck. Find me on Facebook, Katie's Insight. Like the page, join the group, Katie's Corner. In the group, we are helping people on a more one-on-one basis find stimulus help in their area. So go in there, ask all the stimulus questions you want, and hopefully we'll be able to help you. Okay, on with the show. But that's where we're at right now. And we have several people, several places calling for more stimulus and stimulus help. In one of those places, or peoples in plurals, we have several economists once again. And they've done this a handful of times over the last year. They'll write an open letter and they will ring the alarm that we need desperate amounts of help, like anybody is surprised. But they are doodle-doot-doot-doo, ringing that bell. That is not, what was that? What's a doodle-doot-doot-doo? That's not ringing a bell, but I don't have any bell. I need a bell. Y'all, sound off. Somebody give me some bells in the comment. I need a bell that I can ring. What, for this video? I'm not going to go invest in a bell. I already spent $5 on a rainbow shirt. Best $5 I ever spent. And my boyfriend made me purchase a few little shirts for 10, 15 bucks. I can't spend much more for a while. And by the way, I want to apologize. I hope I didn't make anybody feel bad about talking about the shirts that I bought. Y'all understand I have been in a really horrible position for the last really few years, financially and health-wise, and couldn't really do much of anything, even if I wanted to. Like my body sprays, couldn't wear them for a few years because I would get too sick. Now that's being fixed. I did one today. Hold on. Y'all, I'm going to show you. I have it all set up right here. So what's the one that I did? Where is it? This one. And this is from last year. I bought it last year when it was on sale for $3. It's so nice. Raspberry Gleam Hibiscus Blooms. It says it's Victoria's Secret Diamond Petals. I'm wearing that. And then I'm wearing something else. Sometimes I layer. Do you guys layer? Anybody else layer fragrances? Sound off in the comments. But yeah, so I didn't mean to upset anybody by showing off my new shirts. They are super cheap, and understand with what I do for a living, which is YouTube, I have to be able to have things that kind of look presentable for people, since people are constantly looking at me and analyzing everything I say, what I do, what I wear, and how I look. On top of that, I'm losing weight, so I just It's weird because my wardrobe is opening up because my wardrobe is all, I'm pointing at my wardrobe. You can't see it from here. It's all stuff from when I was super small, but I'm still a ways away from that. I'm still a good, oh goodness, probably at least 35 to 50 pounds away from that, but I'm going to get there. Hopefully the next few months we will see. But yeah, no disrespect. I just get so excited, guys. I am somebody that like genuinely, I get so excited over the little things. I am so grateful for little, like just this. The fact that I have this little, like, what is this, chapstick? I get excited to put it on. Or like this little travel size Sunset Glow. Because I couldn't wear perfume. I couldn't do any of that for a few years. And then I couldn't afford it because when you're sick, you can't make money. You know what I mean? So the fact that I could find this for $2 and I can have one. It's like I can have one to put in a purse and I have a purse now. It's exciting. I just get very, very excited over little things. And so no disrespect. I hope it wasn't taken as such. But I just try to be as grateful as I can for the tiniest things I have. I've been that way for a long time, but you know how it is. Y'all go through it. When you go through really hard stuff, that happens, right? Like it just, you know, the good thing about the dark times is when you're able to come out of them, it's like everything is so much happier and brighter because you have such a deep level of appreciation. And I think appreciation is one of the cornerstones to consistent happiness. In my opinion, philosophy with me. Anyway, let's go ahead and dive in. So we have this letter that like 100 and some economists wrote. It's like 157 or something. I'll get the exact number here in a minute. Here it is, actually. It says more than 125 economists. This is an article from The Hill. More than 125 economists are urging policymakers to provide more direct payments to Americans in order to help keep families out of poverty and help the economy recover from virus-related shutdowns. It says, we urge policymakers to use all the tools at their disposal to revitalize the economy, including direct cash payments, which are one of the quickest, most equitable, and most effective ways to get families and the economy back on track, The Economist wrote in an open letter, which was organized by the Economic Security Project. Economists who signed the letter include Jason Furman, who served as chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors during former President Obama's administration, Alan Blinder, who served as vice president chairman of the Federal Reserve Board during former President Clinton's administration, and Claudia Sam, a former economist. What is an econom? That was coming out of my mouth. Economist, there it is, at the Fed. The $2.2 trillion CARES Act, enacted in March, provided for one-time direct payments of up to $1,200. How much of that helped? Per adult and $500 per child. So bad, guys. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle have expressed interest in issuing a second round of payments in future virus relief legislation. Aw, isn't that cute, guys? They express interest. It's not like we're homeless, but maybe they're a little bit interested. They'll window shop, see what's out there. However, it's unclear when any subsequent relief package will be enacted because Democrats and Republicans are far apart on the issues, such as the overall price tag of the bill. The Economist said in a letter that many families have experienced financial difficulties during the pandemic, and low-wage earners, women, and Black workers have been hit particularly hard. The Economist said that more direct payments would help millions of Americans, including people who don't qualify for unemployment benefits. Stimulus checks have been an essential tool to keep the number of people in poverty from going even higher, The Economist wrote. The Economist also said that more direct payments would increase consumer spending, which would help the economy recover faster. The direct cash payments in the CARES Act boosted the economy by increasing spending at all income levels, and most among low-income people, they said. Direct checks, especially if targeted to the bottom half of households, would ensure those struggling the most, particularly Black, Latinx, and Native American families, aren't left behind. I still get so mad that Native Americans are left out of any minority talks. Yes, and I believe we need to fix things for minorities all around. They've gotten the crap end of the stick. Where are my natives? Where is any help for the natives? Where do we talk too much about the natives? Don't. But then again, I was just thinking, if you're going to compare, they also get different government programs and things that maybe that the Spanish people and the Black people don't get. But then most of the time, those don't go very far enough, if that far at all. So I don't know. I'm just saying we always leave them out of the conversation. Makes me mad. The Economist called for recurring direct payments to be paired with other forms of relief, such as unemployment benefits, aid to state and local governments, and funding for childcare. And we know that's another one that we've talked about. Childcare is something that is exceptionally overlooked in all of these talks. Nobody talks about. In childcare, as many of you know with children, I don't even have children, I just know people with children. It's gotten insane. It's like if you've got a couple kids to put them through daycare, that's like another mortgage payment every month. It's like, why even work the second job? You know, might as well have one of y'all make bank and one of you stay home or work part-time or something. So I want to go ahead and pull up the letter though so we can see exactly what they say, and then we can laugh at how just offensive this whole thing is to all of our senses. So this is from the economicsecurityproject.org. It says, open letter from economists for stimulus checks until the economy recovers. It says, the virus crisis has caused some of the most significant and unequal damage to the U.S. economy in modern history, leaving families and businesses alike struggling to get by. Unless policymakers act quickly to respond to the crisis at the scale necessary, we risk the damage to the economy lasting much longer than necessary, particularly for those at the bottom who have been hit the hardest. You know, and in these conversations as well, here's something else that also makes me mad. Yes, we need to have minorities in the conversation, obviously. And if those minorities can Native Americans be some, another overlooked group I'm going to keep screaming about is the disabled, the chronically sick, and the people on benefits, the elderly. Why are we not doing more for these people? Why are we giving people on unemployment and extra stimulus and not these people? Is it because they're not productive in society and therefore they should just barely be able to function and not have any sort of comfort whatsoever? Because, you know, when you're disabled, chronically sick, or when you're old, that's the time your immune system is super working well and you need to really save, especially on nutrition, isn't it? Makes me so mad, guys. I'm sorry, I have to, the only way I can deal with this is to giggle at how insane people are. It's so evil, it's just, it's so evil, it's funny, but not funny and like, that lightens my spirit. It's like, I'm trying to transmute this energy because this is dark. So it says, learning from the 2009 stimulus bill and the recent CARES Act, we know that the next stimulus needs to be big, immediate, and direct, and lasting until the economy recovers. We urge policymakers to use all the tools at their disposal to revitalize the economy, including direct cash payments, which are one of the quickest, most equitable, and most effective ways to get families and the economy back on track. Recurring direct payments will help families meet basic needs, boost state and local economies, and speed the recovery, and should be paired with other valuable programs like unemployment benefits, aid to state and local governments, stronger SNAP benefits, robust child care funding, and more. So I do like this because they're going to a few different things. They are saying recurring direct payments, which nobody else, and that also makes me mad. Nobody across the aisle, nobody talks about this now. When I say that, you know, it makes sense that evil old Mitch McConnell is not going to be talking about this, right? Okay, that makes sense because that's Republican. The Republicans at the top are evil. They don't want to help anybody. He happily calls himself the Crypt Keeper. Bills go here to die, says the turd. But why is it that the Democrats don't have any recurring help? They do in Canada. They do in several countries in Europe. Why not here? And I think it's so funny that the United States is always like, we're number one. And if you guys really knew how other countries ran and how effective they were to help the people, you would see, I'm not saying that I don't want the country to do well or I don't want it to be at the top, but I'm saying we are still a very immature country that has a very long way to go. So I like this. It says direct cash payments, which are the quickest, most equitable, most effective way for families to get back on track. And recurring direct payments will help families meet their basic needs. They want to boost state and local economies, speed the recovery, and should be paired with other valuable programs like unemployment, aid to state and local governments, stronger SNAP benefits, thank you, and robust child care and more. And I wonder what that would be with the robust child care, but I'm here for it. Because what do? Like, parents can't work and have to stay home to homeschool their kids, but nobody can make money. So nobody can eat, so the kids go to state care, but there's no state and local to take care of the kids in the state. Like, this is just, it's getting nuts. I mean, it's been nuts, it's just getting nutser. Nuttier. Nutser isn't a word, or is it? Sound off in the comments what you think of nutser. Stronger SNAP benefits. That's another one. I think they should pump that up by like 30%-ish. So for instance, like for SNAP, most people get, like if you were to apply in your state, most people, just for a single person, is going to get around $200, somewhere give or take. I think that should be bumped up to $300. And for every person in your household, you get more, but it's a little bit less than the $200. But I think there should be a bump up there as well, because typically they don't expect you to live off of just $200 a month of food. They think you're going to get money other places to supplement. But a lot of people can't right now. There's just not enough jobs going around. So they say at least half of families have been impacted, with low wage earners, women, and Black workers hit hardest. Also, sound off to Native Americans and the Spanish. Though unemployment is beginning to decline, nearly half of households have experienced serious financial trouble during the pandemic, including running out of savings, trouble affording food, paying utility bills, and paying their rent or mortgage. 6 in 10 who have lost income are still making less than they were before the pandemic. The impact has not been equal. Low-wage workers have lost far more jobs and wages than top earners, 8 times more at the height of the pandemic. And of course, the low-wage workers are the ones to go first, unfortunately. Doesn't always make a lot of sense. It's how businesses run. Women have been pushed out of the workforce at 4 times the rate of men. Of course, because we're looked at as less productive. And the gulf in employment between Black and white workers has more than doubled since the pandemic. Wow, I didn't know that. So they're hiring Black people less than what? That's disgusting. I'm laughing because it's so awful. I'm like, this is so crazy. Is this real? Are these people real? Stimulus checks have been an essential tool to keep the number of people in poverty from going even higher, while extending unemployment benefits has been essential. Cash reaches millions who are struggling economically, including those who don't qualify for unemployment benefits. Along with the other policies, cash payments were a primary reason the CARES Act drove poverty to fall in the early months of the recession, before increasing again as aid ran out. The Urban Institute estimated that sending 2 more rounds of checks would keep 14 million people out of poverty, while expanded unemployment benefits and SNAP would together keep an additional 4 million out of poverty. A stimulus at the scale of the recession will boost consumer spending, drive the economic recovery, and shortening the recession. Recent projections from the Brookings Institute show that we know to be true from past recessions. A robust response will heal the economy faster. The direct cash payments in the CARES Act boosted the economy by increasing spending at all income levels, and the most among low-income people. Direct checks, especially if targeted to the bottom half of households, would ensure those struggling the most, particularly Black, Latinx, Native American families, thank you, they finally said Native Americans, aren't left behind. While the economy continues on the path to recovery, it's critical that we quickly implement a robust stimulus plan to help promote and sustain a racially equitable recovery and help families and businesses get back on their feet. And y'all, there's a partial list of signers. There's in the full list. So there's about like, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 plus. So there's about 140 people who've signed this. The list is absolutely enormous. And listen to some of these numbers. I want to go over some of this again. So there are people who need these payments, so they're saying they don't qualify for unemployment benefits. And the scary thing is we know unemployment is right about to run out for people on the PUA, the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, or people on extended benefits, which at this point are probably most people. So if we don't have recurring direct stimulus checks at the end of December, what are we going to do? Because I don't think the Democrats have any intention of doing anything until Biden gets in office. And then what? It's going to be a battle in February and then maybe in March? Something has to give. Something has to give at some point, because we have this unemployment for so many people, not a stimulus, but the actual unemployment ending period and no way to get their jobs back or really be able to go back to work. I don't know. It's just, this is horrific. This is absolutely horrific. And they do say that just 2 stimulus checks, they are showing from the Urban Institutes, 2 rounds of stimulus checks that would keep 14 million people out of poverty. And if they expanded unemployment benefits and SNAP, that would together keep an additional 4 million out of poverty. And yet, unless we have President Trump step up and do executive orders, what do we have? This is like, it's not even crunch time. It's beyond crunch time. We're at the edge of the cliff and we're hanging on by our toenails. What are these people doing? Now, I want to go over this a little bit. What is the economicsecurityproject.org? Because this is a letter that was directly from them. So if you go on the website, it says, we challenge the status quo by catalyzing ideas that build economic power for all Americans. So it looks like they are there to really help empower people when it comes to finance and trying to do things that could help the economy. That's what this looks like. So I'll just go over a quick little bit of literature about them. It says, the time has come to consider new, bold ways to make our economy work again for all Americans. We live in a time of historic economic uncertainty. Oh, that's an understatement. The dramatic increase in unreliable work and the concentration of wealth in too few hands threatens to undermine the foundation of the modern social contract. The idea that if you work hard and play by the rules, you can get ahead in America. For so many people, that's been dead. The Economic Security Project challenges this status quo by catalyzing ideas that build economic power for all Americans. We serve as conveners, strategists, and funders. We disperse grants, identify gaps, develop communication research to inform the movements, and coordinate events and convenings to encourage investment and action from others. We aim to support the emerging leaders in the economic justice field and ensure they have the networks, know-how, and money to succeed. We have identified 2 fights we think can win: a guaranteed income that would provide an additional income floor for all Americans, and anti-monopoly action to rein in unprecedented concentration of corporate power. I like all of these things to an extent. And on the team, you have Natalie Foster. She's a co-chair. Chris Hughes is a co-chair. Dorian Warren is a co-chair. And there are several, actually, there's tons of people. Good Lord, it's just economists and people across the country who have been working to help people, elected officials. So that's where they are. And I will say, guys, like I said, this isn't the first letter we've gotten. We've gotten a few of these types of letters over the last year, and it seems to fall on deaf ears. As well as, I know you guys know this, we have economists across the country who have been screaming we need stimulus help. We had both Mnuchin and Larry Kudlow recently, and they were both screaming, if we don't get some type of help here soon, permanent lasting damage to the economy. And that was back in March, April, May. However, Larry Kudlow is also on the Trump team, and not to disrespect or diss Trump, but I'm going to be honest, Larry kind of just goes where the wind goes, it seems, when he talks in the media many times, which, you know, in itself is just very, very frustrating. So it's hard to know if when you hear from Larry Kudlow, if you're actually getting the real story. Speaking of Larry Kudlow, I do want to go into some things he just recently said the other day that I think might illustrate a few things, not just on the economy, but this is another thing I wanted to cover. So if you guys saw my video from yesterday and you guys have been hearing about this, Trump has went ahead and conceded to let the Biden team start their transition. He says they're not giving up the lawsuits, they're not done, but they're going to go ahead and start their transition. So I want to hear from Larry about the economy and what he says when it comes to this transition of power. Let's take a listen.
Hi, folks. Let me see if I can help you in just a couple secs.
Yeah, so I guess first of all, if you could comment on the transition, are you aware of any cases of people being instructed not to interact with the Biden team?
I'm going to refer all those comments to either the chief of staff or the comms department. I'm not engaged in that.
Can you talk a little bit about, we know the president addressed the APEC summit this morning.
Yes, I was there.
Did he actually speak? What did he say? Can you give any kind of color on that?
Yeah, well, it was a good meeting, couple hours. APEC's a very powerful force, as you know. Asia, technology, and economic growth has been among the strongest areas in the world. There's a lot of cooperation on solving the pandemic, vaccines, economic recovery, digital advances. I heard a lot of talk about that. Trade, investment. I wouldn't say there was much new, but it was very cooperative. And the president's message was, we can do this. And the president noted how much progress the U.S. has made. You know, we're on the verge of a vaccine authorization from FDA, and you know, you'll get 20 million vaccine kits out the door real fast. This could happen within days or a week or two. And so President talked about that, and he also talked about the United States' V-shaped recovery, which continues apace. We're really leading the world on that part. So it was a good, healthy, constructive, cooperative meeting. Anything else?
Yeah. Sorry. So he mostly talked about coronavirus and vaccine development and
economic growth.
Okay.
Yep.
And in terms of this period right now, Larry, do you see any risks as we kind of transition administrations economically, at least, in economic terms? What do you see out there? Do you see things continuing? You mentioned a V-shaped recovery. Do you see that continuing beyond January?
Yes, I do. The economy has tremendous momentum. And you know, and the way you put it, beyond this transition, and whoever comes out of this, there's so much momentum in the economy, it's going to continue. No question in my mind. Now, beyond that, longer term, you start raising taxes and increasing the burden of regulations, you're going to have a problem. You're going to have a major problem. If current policies are continued one way or another, you'll get a good boom going again. You know, we did it once, we'll do it a second time. And the numbers are coming in very strong, very strong. Even the jobs numbers, people misunderstand these weekly unemployment claims. You can't use that number anymore. You have to use continuing claims plus the pandemic-related claims. And when you add that up, it's dropped 1.5 million since the middle of last month, which is the survey period. So I don't have a number for you, but when the November jobs report comes out in the first days of December, I think it's going to be a very sturdy, positive report.
Is the president meeting with Michigan lawmakers today?
I actually don't know. Have not seen a schedule. I was here, I think, about 6:20 a.m. and I met him and the residents about 6:40 a.m. and we went to the APEC virtual conference, and that's all I know. Now, what I'm doing out here, I'm not really sure, but it's always happy to visit my friends in the media.
Larry, is there an update on stimulus talks? Is there any progress to report?
It's slow going. It's slow going. You've got an omnibus appropriations bill out there. You've got some deadlines coming up in December about funding the government, and you've got a lot of unused CARES Act money that we would love to see repurposed, and which requires an appropriation, as you know, to things like small business PPP and unemployment assistance, and perhaps direct mail checks, airlines, restaurants. You got about 550 billion of unused money that should be repurposed as fast as possible, just as a backstop, just as a backstop. But there's a lot of hardship out there. We know, we can target this. We don't need a $3 trillion massive bill. We can target stuff, which would be a help. The recovery is not contingent on that. You've heard me say that before. But well-targeted assistance would be helpful,
Do you have any optimism that there's...
Yes, sir.
Is there some reason to think that there could be a problem on this side of Pennsylvania Avenue with keeping the government running with that funding bill?
Don't know yet.
What are the issues?
I just don't know yet. The issues will be very familiar to you, but I think right now there's a good faith effort, a bipartisan good faith effort in both houses to come up with a full omnibus appropriations bill that would last for the next fiscal year. Whether that occurs or not, I can't predict.
But not a CR?
I just, if the one doesn't work, the other might be in play. But I don't want to give you a view on it because we're negotiating in good faith right now. Good. You're great. I appreciate it. Bye.
Do you have some optimism about a targeted stimulus?
I'm always optimistic. Just my way.
Okay, typically I like to get transcripts and try to break down, but I'm not even going to bother for this one. Larry basically says we have a strong recovery. We're leaving a strong recovery of whoever it is that inherits. It is weird though, because it seems like, at least to me, tell me what you guys think. It seems like we're starting to hear a transition from the Trump team about Trump staying in office to, well, whatever happens. So for instance, and I might have a video about this later, Rudy Giuliani has come out and kind of said, well, maybe we've exaggerated some of the voter issues. which I'll get into later because I haven't even fully looked at it, and considering it's the mainstream media reporting it, I wonder how much the words have been twisted and turned, unfortunately. That's not because I'm super pro-Trump, that's just because I'm common sense, and that's what they seem to always do with Trump. They're just looking for buzzwords, buzz phrases, buzz headlines to spin into something for people who won't actually look into situations and see what's going on, and just people who will blindly believe whatever's out there because Orange Man is always bad, y'all. Orange Man, always bad. But yeah, there's nothing really new from Larry. Larry wouldn't answer really many questions about the transition, but then to be fair, he's an economist. So he really shouldn't have to. That's not his field, right? What I think we're all getting really tired of is hearing how great the economy is when we are all struggling so flipping bad. And it's just, we hear nonstop optimism from like Larry Kudlow, who's at the top of he's the director of the Economic Council, and how great it's going to be for whoever does inherit the presidency coming up, whether it's Trump that continues or Biden that goes in and transitions. But then why is it that we hear that Biden's team is saying they're all preparing for the double dip recession? Why is everybody on one side preparing for the double dip recession, but on the other side, it's blind, just optimistic wonderfulness? And, you know, I don't trust any of them, to be honest. I don't trust either side. I could see Trump being so hopeful he can be misleading, and I could see the Democrats trying to paint such a scary picture to make themselves look like the heroes when they finally come in and do anything if Biden comes into office. Again, like I said, it's all different flavors of evil turds. Which crap bar do you want to sample from? Which narrative are you going to buy? Which one makes you more comfortable with? And I don't know, watching this stuff, this is what it seems like to me when I break this down. And I just feel like I'm getting to the point where I feel like we are beyond insulted when we hear how great the economic recovery is doing when we all need so much help, and we are weeks. We're like 5 weeks away from all of these major programs ending. So we have like over 100 some economists writing letters again, that's going to go on deaf ears, saying we need recurring stimulus payments to help. And then we have people like Larry Kudlow saying how great everything is. And I've been pretty pro Larry. I like Larry in many ways. I think he's probably a decent person. I think he's probably fun to sit and hang out with. I'd like to pick his brain. But at the end of the day, we're not doing well. We're not okay. We need help. And is anybody going to listen to us? And our lips are really dry. That's why we have to constantly use chapstick in the winter. All right, guys, if you like this video, please give me a big thumbs up, like this video while you're putting on your chapstick, subscribe, hit notifications, comment, and sound off. I want to hear everything in the comment section. And guys, please share this content with anybody you know that's struggling now. People who are on unemployment, waiting for unemployment stimulus checks, SB loan and grant issues, and everything in between. I've got tons of tools and tons of resources to help you through this very difficult time, and I would love nothing more than to be able to do just that. And guys, the more you like, subscribe, comment, hit notifications, share the content, the more my channel grows, the more things I can do for you guys. So for instance, we're giving away $100 gift cards. Very simple to be eligible. This is all you have to do. Like every video you see, subscribe, hit notifications so you can be notified what's coming in the pipeline for you and your stimulus money. Comment, share the content, boom, that's it, you're entered. That's all you have to do. Make sure and do this for every video you see. And guys, the more times you share, the more comments you leave, the bigger chance you have to win a gift card. If you leave 100 comments, 100 times more chance you have to win a gift card. Yay, good luck. I want everybody to win, but I have to be rich to do that. So let's get me rich, and then I help you guys get rich, and we'll all be happy. Guys, add me on Facebook, Katie's Insight, like the page. Join the group, Katie's Corner. Will be changed to Katie's Insight soon. We are helping people on a one-on-one basis with all of their stimulus needs. So go in there. We would love to help you. Okay, guys, going to end this video here for now. I'm going to end it. I'm just going to end it. Okay, guys, take care, blessing, lots of love, hugs, and kisses. Mwah. Bye, guys.